everyone and welcome to the Learning Ladder. Today I'm sharing with you my Alice in Wonderland unit study. I will leave the link below if you would like to purchase it. Now, to complete the unit you need any version of Alice in Wonderland, it doesn't matter. I just love this version. The illustrations are from the original illustrator and they are just stunning. Starting from the very first page. As you can see, they are absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to complete the author study, you will also need a copy of Who Was Lewis Carroll. Okay, now we'll take a look inside the unit study. Okay, so the first thing you'll find are 2 unit study plan pages that are completed, but you'll also find 2 blank ones as well. So you can follow the schedule that I am, or you can make your own. You'll also find the unit study notes, and it's got all the supplies that you need, and then for each of the activities, some more information, my thought process, prompts, anything that you need to go along with each of the planned activity. So we'll take a look at the activities first. So we've got write a Wonderland comic, learn about the rose plant, paint a watercolour rose painting, draw a map of Wonderland, practice telling time with the right rabbit, down the rabbit hole STEM activity, write a letter to the Queen of Hearts, learn about rabbits, the Wonderland map reading and grid reference activity, hop to the Roman numerals game, design your own hat, make your own Wonderland, write a Wonderland story or roll a Wonderland story, code in Wonderland activity, design an invitation to your Wonderland party, make a felt bunny, design eat me, drink me labels for your tea party, there's a comparison to Alice or the Mad Hatter activity, use art cards for storytelling, an acrostic Wonderland poem, design packaging for the Queen of Hearts tarts, make Queen of Hearts tarts, have your Wonderland tea party, movie night, draw the ending, book report, author study, the end. So I've tried to make it as cross-curricular as possible, getting all those skills in and with fun activities that really bring the story to life. Activities write a Wonderland comic. So as the unit study notes say, choose their favourite point from the story to write their comic version. Alternatively, they could continue a chapter in their own way. Choose either the portrait or the landscape template to use. Make as many copies as required. The page is number 1. So there you can see, page number 1. So I've put in 2 portrait and 1 landscape copy, and then obviously you can copy as many as you want. Okay, the next activity is learn about the rose. So read the rose information fact sheet and then complete the information writing titled All About the Rose, page 2. So we've got All About the Rose here. I have done a US version and a UK version. The only word is colour that's spelled differently. Everything else is the same. So this is the US version, and then I've just put the UK version on the other side just for ease. So basically they'll read the information on here, and then they will go to their All About the Rose information writing page, page 2. So they're going to do an introduction, facts and a conclusion. Okay, the next activity is painting the roses red. So using watercolour or pastels or your child's chosen medium, make a rose painting. You can use the template A if required to do some sketching on, and then they can obviously use appropriate paper to do their actual craft. Okay, so the next activity is draw a map of Wonderland. So use page 3, which is here, to allow their imaginations to run wild and map their version of Wonderland. Activity is practice telling time with the white rabbit. So I've got a recording sheet here, and then I've got a range of clocks. So we are doing o'clock, half hour, quarter hour, and also to the 5 minute. And there are a range of different activities as well. So we can match the digital time, we can match the written time, we can do some elapsed time. I've also included some 24-hour clock cards as well if you're wanting to start practicing 24-hour, and this is the 24-hour clock. And a range of games you could play. They can match obviously digital to analog, they could match analog to the correct word card, they could do some elapsed time, they could do hop to the hop like a bunny to the required time that you shout out with them all over the floor. There's so many different options that you could do with these. Okay, our next activity is down the rabbit hole STEM activity. So Alice has fallen down the rabbit hole using page 5 and 6, which are here. They will draft, construct and evaluate a plan to save her. Alternatively, they could use their imagination and build their version of what the rabbit hole would look like. It could be completed using cardboard, supplies, usual things that you have on hand, Lego, tiles, whatever you want to do to help get those creative ideas flowing, and then they can complete the sheets and do an evaluation about their design and would they change anything at the end. Okay, the next activity is write a letter to the Queen of Hearts. So we have some writing paper here. So as you can see, I have put some additional information in there. So they could talk to her about her character, She's got a very good, they'll have got a very good sense of her character from reading the story, and they might have some opinions on how she treats Alice. So they could, you know, let them go their own way, what they want to write. But if they're not sure, there are a few options. You could suggest to them to write to her about how they deal with calming down when they're angry. They could offer her advice on her flowers, because obviously she likes her roses. They could tell her about a game they like to play, because she likes to play croquet. There's so many different things, just a few little prompts there to consider. Okay, the next activity is learn about rabbits. So we're going to read the newspaper article, page 9, to learn all about rabbits from Mr. White Rabbit himself. Then we're going to either use the mini booklet to fill out and draw what they have learned under each heading and staple together, or they can complete another sheet that I've just included as an addition. So here is the newspaper article from the White Rabbit, and I said, well, it is from the White Rabbit, but it's called The Rabbit Post. So let's chat with the one and only Mr. White Rabbit. So there's lots of information about rabbits in there that they can use. So the options to complete are a little book. So there's habitat, fun facts, diet and characteristics, or they could complete this sheet, this animal fact file. Fun facts, you know, habitat, height, weight, lifespan, everything is included in the article except weight. So that would be something you would have to Google if you decided to use this sheet. However, if you want to use these ones, then everything's included in the article aside from weight. Okay, the next activity is the Wonderland grid reference. So we're going to use page 12 to complete the Wonderland grid reference activity and answer the questions on page 13 and 14. So here is our Wonderland grid. I have laminated this just to keep it safe. And then we've got some questions here on page 13 and 14 to complete using the grid. Okay, the next activity is design your own hat. So become a hatter and create your own hat. You can use the sheet numbered 15 and draw it. So sketch it onto here. They could decorate the sketch with tissue paper, ribbon, etc. Or they could actually make it out of cardboard, and I'll put some instructions of how you can make it out of cardboard. Alternatively, they could use building materials to make it as well. So it's entirely up to them. Let them be as creative as they'd like. And again, the next activity, make your own Wonderland. They're using any kind of modeling material to build their own version. Okay, the next activity is write a Wonderland story or roller story. So I have using pages 16 and 18, which are in here. So there are a couple of picture ones, and then there's just one with lines. They can complete a story. Alternatively, if they don't want to do that, or they need assistance with prompts, they can do the roller story. So basically we roll our dice for a character, a plot, a second character and a problem. So they can of course do that too. Okay, the next activity is coding Wonderland. So we're going to use page 19 to 21 to complete the 2-level coding activities. Cut out the direction cards to help with the activity. So here are the coding activities, and then you get the little cards. There are 2 pages of these to cut out, and then you can code away. So Alice is late for tea, so we're going to guide her, there she is, we're going to guide her to the Mad Hatter's tea party. Use the hearts to plan a path to help Alice get there without running into anyone. Okay, the next activity is design an invitation to your Wonderland party. So we're having a Wonderland party. Today we'll design your own invitation. I have planned to do this digitally on PowerPoint, and you can help them obviously if needed. So if needed to download images, talk about fonts, how to change size, colour. But if you'd like to do the activity on paper instead, I've included a template on page 22. Okay, the next activity is to make a felt bunny. So I've explained why I want to do this activity. So it's something that I did when I was younger and when I was little, and it's something I've kept all these years, which is funny. And basically I just got some felt and I just made a little puppy. He's looking a bit ratty now because he's very old. And I want to do that with my daughter. So there's no pattern. It's just basically cut out some felt to the specifications of what they're making. So for this idea, it's a bunny. And then just do a simple stitch, and obviously you can help them as much as they need, and stuff it, and away you go, and hopefully they'll keep their little toy that they've made for a long time as well. Okay, as I mentioned, we are having a Wonderland party, so we're going to design Eat Me, Keep Me label. I keep saying that, Eat Me, Drink Me labels. So as before with the Wonderland party invitation, I plan to do it on PowerPoint, but if you would like to with her on PowerPoint, but if you would like to do it on paper, I've put in an Eat Me, Drink and a Drink Me template with little clip art in there, but then I've also included a blank one as well if you don't want to do it digitally. Okay, now our next activity is a Venn diagram of their choice. So I have put in an Alice and a Mad Hatter, so they can choose which one, or they can do both, it's up to them. The next activity is use the art cards for storytelling. This is something my daughter absolutely loves doing. So I'll show you the cards now. So they can dictate the story to you. You could record them and they can watch back the video, or they could dictate it and you can write it down for them. And you could print off the writing pages from earlier to do this. And the cards are just stunning. So we've got the two illustrators. And they can use them to craft their own story. And they are just beautiful, I love them. He is hop to the Roman numerals game. So basically you can add the correct number, word number to them. There are 1 to 20 and then it goes up in tens to 100. You can also put them on an activity tray and they can build the Roman numeral either using cotton, little cotton buds, or they can use Q-tips or anything like that as well. So there's a couple of different options of what you could do with those. The next activity is to write a Wonderland poem. Okay, we're going to be baking a recipe for our party. So this activity is called Design Packaging for your Queen of Hearts jam tarts. That's the recipe that I've put in to make. So with this, you can present some packaging to them. You can talk about what attracts them to the packaging, talk about colour, font and the images and everything else before they start thinking about what they want to design on their packaging. Then you can also talk about ingredients and also allergies as well, and how important that is to put on the packaging. And then you can expand on it further if you want to, discussing how the ingredients are made, where they come from and everything else. And there's lots of Usborne books that are great for that if you would like to go more in depth. But obviously you could just stick to what's the ingredients for this particular item, but if you do want to go in depth, then that's an option to consider. Then we are going to do our recipe. So we're making Queen of Hearts jam tarts. I've included the recipe there for you. Okay, it's time for the party. So we're going to have a lovely Alice in Wonderland tea party, and there are 2 tickets for movie night if you want to do an Alice in Wonderland movie night as well after your party. Okay, the next activity is draw the ending. So at the end of the book we discover it was a dream, and I'm always interested to see what children think happened at the end, their takeaway. So we've got draw the ending, and I've just printed out 2 of those, but basically we talk about what's happening in their picture. Did you guess the ending? Do you like it? And would you recommend it? Okay, the next activity is the book report. I always like to give my daughter choices, so I've got 2 different templates that you can use. So we've got my book report, title, author, illustrator, then they can talk about what happens in the story from what they remember. Or they can do a summary of the activity and they can rate how they felt about the book. This activity is the author study, which you'll use the Who Was Lewis Carroll book for, and then they can complete their author study fact file, where he lived, fun facts that they can all pick up from reading the Who Was book. Then we've got congratulations, you've finished, but I have included a few extras as well. So when you're reading the book, I have put in these little comic pages. My daughter loves comics, so I've put some pictures in that they can colour, and then they can do a conversation. So there are 3 different versions, so that should keep them entertained while you're reading if need be. 4 different versions. And then finally your front and back cover, because what I am actually going to do is I'm going to put them all together, all the different sheets and everything that she's done, with either some ribbon or some twine. I thought that would be really cute. So this is the front cover and that's the back cover. Then I'll laminate them once she's drawn on them and completed them, and then hole punch with some blue ribbon or some twine to keep everything together as a memory book. So that's everything in my Alice in Wonderland unit study. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear, and take care. I'll see you in the next video. I'll leave the link below if you would like to purchase. Bye for now.